What's up, beautiful people, and welcome to the R&D show. We're your host. I'm Shaw.
I'm Ryan.
And this is the R&D show. Pew, pew,
Yes,
pew,
sir.
pew, pew, pew. All right, we jumping back into this thing, and we are going to do some hot topics. And we're going to dive headfirst right into the deep end on one of these hot topics in regards to Drea and Jaylen Green. If you don't know who Drea is, Drea was on Basketball Wives at one point in time. She's become, I guess, she's an influencer, but she's also become a businesswoman. You know, she has some businesses. She's doing well for herself. She has a swim line. So she's an entrepreneur, and she's a socialite. She's a celebrity. And Jaylen Green is an NBA player. They are allegedly dating, and there's been some controversy with this dating because Drea is 39 years old, she'll be 40, and Jaylen is 21. Now, when you think about it, there is an age gap there, right? However, men do it all the time, right? Because women tend to like older men. Is there much of an outrage and uproar?
Not as much, not as much. It's like when it's the other way around, it's more of an outrage.
Yeah.
You think about Larsa Pippen and Michael Jordan's son. There's a huge age gap there, but I think it just goes against the grain. Because a lot of times men tend to like younger women, but to see a man into an older woman, that's a beautiful thing. Because, society says, especially for women, the older you get, maybe the less wanted you are. But to see like these young men wanting these older women, kind of flips the script a little bit. So.
And some people are calling her a predator and that this is a form of grooming and not so much of her being a cougar. And they don't like it, and there's a reason why they don't like it.
But also, I think like she's 21. Maybe he's like 25, and she was maybe, how old is she now?
She's 39,
and she was 44. Like 21 is still he's still a baby, right? Almost like he's 21, he's grown, but still, he's still coming to his own.
It's kind of like Beyonce and Jay-Z. What are they 17 years?
Are they that far apart?
Or is it 12 years?
Right. She's 42, 43. So you saying he's 60? He's going on 60?
Okay. So so they're 12 years apart.
Okay.
So then this situation is more so, I guess, 18? Is it 18?
Yeah.
It's about 18.
Public school and Aurora?
But the outrage is coming from the fact that she has a son, and her son is 21.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes it look a little bit different.
It makes it look a little different.
So you basically dating somebody that could be your son's friend. So that's very weird. But Jada did it. Jada did, she had her thing with somebody her son's age, and
I was about to say who? Because I was really thinking, I'm like, no, Will is not that young. He's not young. But then I had the light bulb came on, and it was a whole entanglement that happened.
Yeah.
Back in 2020 when that came out, the whole entanglement. That's right.
Yeah.
But I wonder what that age difference is, because August was also very much so older though.
Yeah, he was just
older than 21.
Yeah, I just think that 21, like 18, that's just like a slippery slope. But hey, you're grown. These people out here looking grown. Guys and girls 21 looking 25. Even guys and girls 17, 18, they look a little bit older. So
I think the difference is, though, she wouldn't date a regular 21-year-old. He's an NBA player, like an NBA star. He's making millions. Like, he's not a normal 21-year-old. So,
and she don't look like she's 39. She look like she could be in her late 20s. She still takes good care of herself. So absolutely. she's still a hottie. So
I don't know, y'all weigh in on this and let us know your thoughts. Do you think that it's inappropriate for Drea, who is 39, to date 21-year-old Jaylen? Green.
Or do you think some people are just mad they haters because they can't get?
or do you think? I mean, if men can do it, why can't women do it? Men been doing it for years. Dating under. Why can't women do it? Do the same thing. Let us know your thoughts on that.
Yeah.
It's because I feel like I'm a little indifferent. I feel like if you're mature enough to handle this situation and you understand exactly what you're doing, then who am I to judge you? Or how do I have a say so when you are legally grown? I mean, you are over the age of 18, you're grown.
You're making grown money too.
You're making grown money. So with making grown money comes with grown choices, grown situations and circumstances, and grown relationships. And clearly that's what's going on.
Clearly, he's a handsome guy. He got the pick of the litter. He had all this money, looks a certain way, NBA basketball player, but he chose her.
And that's what I was about to say. I'm pretty sure he went after her.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure she wasn't thinking to herself that she wants to date a 21-year-old. You know what I mean?
He might have, when he was younger, like, man, that Drea baddie. You gotta been like when he was like he saw her on TV.
I feel like we've all done that, right?
Growing up, like, dang, like.
I feel like we all.
He might have been, how old at the time? Maybe he was like 12 or 13, saw her on, Basketball Wives. I was like, dang.
Man.
If I can get a woman like that.
Exactly.
Man, look at here. Look at today.
And clearly we've seen that as long as you got some money, if a guy, let's just be honest. Let's be honest. There could be a very beautiful girl and a guy that is just so okay in looks, but money comes into play and he got that money. Oh.
Yeah.
There's nothing average about him anymore.
Nothing average.
He the finest thing since sliced bread. You know what I mean? So
it's like that mist.
Yeah,
he has a certain element about it.
It's a makeup. It's like a makeup.
That's what Jamie Foxx said before he got into Hollywood. And he was an okay looking guy, but then when he got to Hollywood, he had this mist, and now he was Jamie Foxx. Once you get some money, that adds an element. That adds
an element of attractiveness. Yeah. And you just like, absolutely. So in this case, even though he may be already attractive, he's able to get what he wants because he's in a certain position, if that makes sense, which we see in, I think, everyday situations. There's a lot of people that get what they want because they're in a certain position to get it. And that's just what it is. I can remember, like what you just said, I remember being in 5th grade having a crush on one of my teachers, and because I just thought she was just way beautiful. And I was like, well, I can't wait till I get older, as if I was gonna be able to do anything, like I'm in 5th grade and I don't know how old she was at the time, probably 20 something. So by the time I got old enough, please, nothing was gonna be able to get done.
I don't know. She could.
I mean, could have. I mean, you just never know. But let us know your thoughts.
Yeah, for sure.
Is she a cougar? Is this predatory behavior, or is it okay because they're both consenting adults at this point, even though her son is the same age? And I think that's probably the only thing that could be a conflict of interest is you're the same age as the boyfriend.
I wonder how her son feels about it.
Yeah.
Oh, he's like, dang, I got a new dope friend, same age. I don't know. Maybe he might be like, damn, Mom, you're dating somebody my age?
My homeboy.
My homeboy? That's kind of like, I don't know. I wonder what his perspective is.
And I guess she's allegedly might be pregnant too by him.
Oh,
so
crap.
That would be an interesting situation. We're just gonna see how that plays out.
She might be securing the bag.
Oh no, she got a bag.
I know, a couple bags. I mean, like extra bags. Shit.
She got a bag.
She got a bag, but sometimes you want another bag.
That's true.
So we see it all the time. We see Eve. Eve got with a billionaire. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We see Serena Williams. These women, they have bags. They get with someone that's even on another level in terms of financially. So Portia, she had a bag from Real Housewives of Atlanta, but then she wanted, 4, 5, 6 bags her size. So,
because they're securing a status of like having financial freedom, number one, but also being a very powerful power couple. Like, you're able to have access, all of this access to this money and do certain things and have generational wealth. So, I mean, I get wanting to secure that type of freedom in the future, but if my mom dated one of my, okay, I ain't gonna even think about it. I ain't even think about it. All right, moving on. I just wanted to talk about this real fast. This wasn't on the agenda, but Wendy Williams. So Wendy Williams, they just dropped a trailer for her new docuseries.
What?
And man, it definitely makes me sad. And I think the response from a lot of people is, it also made them sad as well to see her in this state, to see that she's dealing with what she's dealing with, and then also her.
What state is she in, and what is she dealing with in the docuseries that's causing some sadness?
So, what is that? What is it? So basically, somebody, her money, for example, was signed over to someone, right? And I think we kind of seen that being played out, that she needed to have, what's the word I'm looking for?
Different management?
Not different management.
Accounting?
No. I don't know why I'm having a brain freeze. I've been saying that all day. But anyway, her not having access to that, and then also
She had a trust account or something.
Her health declining. You know, her health had been declining, and just things that she's dealt with. Now, I know some people just could care less about Wendy Williams or whatever their opinions are. I've always been a fan of her, only because to me, Wendy was doing a job, and it wasn't a job where it was super messy. Like, it was messy, but it wasn't messy to where a certain someone that's on YouTube messy type of messy. I won't say her name, but you know, she was good TV, should I say. I know she was worse. She was worse on radio.
She was a
right. I was young, so I don't know what was going on radio, but TV, the Wendy Williams show, was entertaining.
It was entertaining.
And she wasn't doing anything different than what all these other shows do when they have their hot topics and they talk about certain things. But she just put a little bit more sauce on there, which made it more entertaining and funny, or whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, she's still a human being, and I looked at her as Aunt Wendy. So like, I'll always just be like, man, I wish I miss Aunt Wendy, because she was good. She was good TV. She was interesting and things of that nature. So to now see, and we know what Wendy went through. You know, she told her story herself on her talk show. She would tell bits and pieces, and then she released her lifetime story. Biopic, and that was very good. You got to learn more about her, but to see her in this state of, she's kind of like, she's very fragile, she's very emotional, and she's really just dealing with all of these things. She's now with her son. I think her son is guardianship. Is that what I was looking for?
Yeah, probably guardianship. She got to that point where she has a guardianship?
Yeah, she has guardianship.
Wow, she's really, I wonder why she would agree to do this docuseries. What does she want people to see? What does she want people to take away from?
Probably that she's been taken advantage of. She's been taken advantage of. She says she's broke. Her sister, there's a part where her sister is talking and her sister is crying, and she's like, how do people expect for us to be there to support my sister and help her when we don't have a say-so, when we're not her guardians and we were fighting to be over whatever the situation is. Her son is speaking, and he speaks about, you know, just his mom and the state that she's in and the things that she's gone through, and why it's necessary for him to take over and be, you know, the guardian of everything,
the power of attorney.
And so it's going to be very good. I think it's worth a watch. I hate to see her go through this.
But hey, there's always opportunity for a comeback. And if anybody can come back, we know it could be Wendy Williams. I think we all still have a soft spot for her.
Yeah.
Even a softer spot for her in our heart. So hopefully she can use this as a catalyst for a comeback, because we do miss her on TV.
We definitely miss her on TV. So we send our love, thoughts, and prayers to Wendy Williams and to her family, especially her son, because that's a lot on him. You know, he's the only child, so that's a lot to take on. But clearly he's up to it because he wants to protect and take care of his mom, and just love to see it, you know. So shout out to Wendy, shout out to her son as well. All right, so we're gonna move on. We're gonna segue a little bit. someone had threw in the comments, it's kind of like going back to Love and Marriage Huntsville. It's just crazy. But it was the first time where there was someone kind of going against Melody, kind of like having these things to say, kind of like, yeah, it was very interesting.
Okay.
I respect everybody's opinions and perspective. So I was reading it, and I was just like, okay. So basically the comment was saying, Melody acts so cold toward Martell. I feel like she still loves him. She's acting out because she does love him, and I just wish she would just give him the opportunity and kind of like they can make things work or whatever the case may be. And another comment was left, and it was just basically talking about, because we kind of mentioned the friend group on that show and them not really showing up, and it was like, well, how can they show up for her when she changes her number, she isolates herself, and all of these things? We're not understanding nobody's going to be able to show up for her because of her actions and behavior, pretty much is what they're saying.
That's a perspective. I mean, I can see that. I saw elements of that. So I see both sides of the situation. I do feel that at some point I did feel like Melody was cold towards Martell and she still had something there for him. But that's been long gone. That might have been like a year or 2 years ago. I think where she is now, she really has realized who this person is, and she doesn't want to have anything to do with him at this period of time. So I think at some point, yeah, she was acting out. You could see her being bothered, but I think she got to a space of being unbothered these days. And also, you know, she may have changed her number because she doesn't want to be involved with the mess. She knows that those people on the show can be messy, and they also have a relationship with Martell. So she's chosen to possibly distance herself a little bit.
I understand what you're saying. Of course, my perspective is different because I feel like she was cold to him because she doesn't want to be bothered with him. You think about a woman that's been through a lot with somebody she thought she was going to spend the rest of her life with. And within this time frame, he was doing stuff then to try to bring her down, to degrade her, to make it seem as if she was responsible for why he went out and cheated and got a mistress and did the things that he did for them to get to where they are. Consistently saying that she's lying, hopping up in her face, just doing crazy things, which would make you not want to be around somebody at all. Because this person is trying to get a reaction out of me and or trigger me. I think that she was in a space where she was already trying to protect her peace, but she knew that I have a show to film too. How can I coexist with this person that right now I just really don't like? And I know that feeling. I know the feeling of being around someone that you just really don't want to fuck with. Like, and so it can come off as like you being very cold or if you're bothered, but it's more so like, no, I really just don't want to fuck with this person at all. Like, I would prefer for them to really not exist in my world, but because they are existing, I got to find a way to navigate through this the best I can. And I feel like then she was doing the best that she could to be around someone who was making things so difficult for her. You know what I mean? I think that you go into a protective mode, and sometimes people are able to see that on your face and through your actions, but they don't know how to decipher what that is. They don't know what's going on. They just feel like, oh, this person is doing this because they still love this person. No, I don't love this person at all. I don't even want to be, like at this point, I just want everything to be done with. But it's not. It's a process of what's going on. So I just feel like Melody was in a place where she would have preferred for everything to just be done, said and done, so that she can happily move on with her life. But it was taking some time for things to happen. And he kept doing things to make stuff transpire and make her feel some type of way. But now, of course, she is very much so unbothered. She may have been, to me, not bothered by him then, but now she's more so unbothered by anything that he's done, and he's trying to push her buttons. So I can get how people can interpret it as that way, but I feel like if you've been in a situation where you still have to deal with someone that you just really don't want to fuck with at all, it can come off a certain type of way. And yes, you're going to sometimes show up cold. You know, like I know how to be cold at certain times. That doesn't mean that I'm bothered by this person, because if anything, they're intimidated by my presence, and I just own the space that I'm in. That's just my perspective.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah. And as far as the friend stuff, listen. Here, this is my perspective once again, and you don't have to agree. I feel like if I was friends with people and they were friends with both me and a certain someone, and let's just say I'm Martell and I was married to Melody and all this stuff was going on, right? This is the outside looking in. We share a friend group. Our friends are friends with both of us. Things are happening, things are transpiring. Our friends are noticing these things. They have a first class seat witnessing what's going on, witnessing how this person is trying to tear me down, belittle me, degrade me. I mean, in some ways, you know, harm me, especially mentally and emotionally, and, you know, verbally, and God knows what else has been taking place. Just doing a whole lot. It's not as if Kimmy and Letitia and Marceau and Maurice aren't exposed to what's going on in this situation. They've seen it play out. So at some point, you don't want your friends to play the fence, especially if they know you've done nothing wrong, and yet they're somehow still playing the fence and coming up with reasons why they are still more so attached to someone. And I'm not saying that you got to completely just separate yourself from that person, but at some point you got to pick a side of what's right. And I feel like loyalty has to start showing up in a space where it's like, man, like he's at this point to us, he's not a good person. And because he's not a good person, I don't know if I want a relationship with this person based off of what they're doing to somebody that I care so much about, that I say I love and care about. And I feel like what she had to do was protect her peace by any means necessary, because it's tough to relationship with people that's relationshiping with someone that's hurting me, you know, trying their best to hurt me, trying their best to do certain things to make me look a certain way and feel a certain way, and bringing all of this chaos into my world, because, you know, he's an agent of chaos. And I remember on an episode, Melody talked about setting boundaries, and she's just like, that's a boundary for me. You know, I changed my number, I don't respond to things, and I haven't been around because I've been protecting my peace, and that's a boundary. And I always like tell you and other people, I'm like, we create boundaries based off of people's actions and behaviors toward us. And it's not to keep completely to build a wall or to keep people out, but it's to protect our space. It's to protect ourselves, our mind, body, soul, and spirit. And if you're not able to create boundaries, you do yourself a disservice and you put yourself at risk.
Yeah, you put yourself, boundaries are there to protect you, to keep people out. Also, there sometimes you have the boundary at the door. You can let people in, but you have to let the right people in and be wise in that decision. And she definitely had to protect herself after all that she had been through, because she was open in a lot of ways and she was hurt. So she had to put those boundaries up, and put those boundaries up with the friendship group, because, you know, they still were attached to Martell in a certain way and wasn't supporting her maybe the way she felt she wanted to be supported. So she had to do what was best for her.
Absolutely. And again, boundaries are parameters to keep you safe within yourself and to keep you safe within your life. Mm-hmm. And once she did that, I think it was also easy for us to now see a Melody relationship differently on like last season, you know.
Yeah, I thought she, at some point, she's on here just to get a check. She does not want to be bothered with these people. Yeah. That's how I felt at some point.
The season before last season.
Yeah, the season before last season. She tried to collect the check. She don't want to be bothered.
And she didn't. You know, she was protecting her space and her peace and her boundary. And she was like, I got a show to make. This is my show. I got to show up for work. Mm-hmm. And I think that sometimes you can get to that point, especially when you've outgrown certain situations.
Like, I think you mentioned something about it, that she might be moving to Atlanta. I just said she's going to move away from there. She don't want to be bothered with these people. She over these people, you know, but I was like, Martell would make it difficult for her to move. Like, would be extremely difficult. But I can see her wanting just to get out of Huntsville.
And I guess Huntsville is, or Alabama, the state.
Yes.
So maybe it's the state or it's the city of Huntsville. One or the other. You know how some states are women's states?
Mm-hmm.
I guess Huntsville is a man city, or Alabama's a man state. I don't know if that's true or not, but I was reading something that said whoever is residing over whatever the case may be, they've been in favor of Martell a lot, like the judges.
Really? I wonder what they're seeing, what we're not seeing. Yeah. I mean, we have a view from TV, we have a view from what people are saying on blogs, we have a view from what people are putting in their social media, but we really don't know the full story. We have an idea, we got a sense of it, but we don't really know like the full picture. But from what you can see, it seems like, you couldn't understand why the judge wouldn't be on Melody's side.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
We don't have all the details, but it probably come out. We probably get them sooner, at some point.
And just for clarification, I was not saying that Huntsville was a state. I was trying to say, is it a man's state or a man's city? Because I've heard this before, and I didn't hear it until I went through my situation, and they was saying that like my state was a women's state, so usually a judge is always going to side with the women when it comes to kids, like always. And so that's just something that I read, and that's very interesting, especially now after what we just seen play out.
Yeah, but also think, you can talk about in favor, it's like maybe wanting the father to be active. I don't think anyone wants to take a parent away from their child, no matter who it is.
Yeah.
So, in favor means maybe just like visitation rights, but maybe not custody rights.
Well, she wasn't like trying to take the kids away.
Or whatever it may be. I'm just saying, like, I don't know what they mean is in favor of Martell. In favor of Martell for what?
Well, I guess for one example is she wanted the kids to be on the show, back on the show. Mm-hmm. He does not want them to be on the show and or on social media, and I guess the judge sided with him.
I can see that. A lot of people don't want to have their kids exposed to reality TV. That's a lot.
But they have already been on there though.
I know,
since the beginning. But now that we ain't together no more, now you don't want the kids on there.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any. It'd be different if they've never been on there, right?
Yeah, it could be different.
But they've always been on there. But now he's doing this to use it as a weapon.
Yeah, I think I can see that.
He's not doing this for any other reason but to try to stop her storyline and to also cause more drama and initiate some type of reaction and response. I mean, if the judge say no, it's just no, but you've never had an issue prior to this.
Yeah.
It's just another part of him being such a narcissist and mass manipulator and gaslighter. I know he's very interesting. Very not likable. Not really likable. All right, so speaking of traditional, I guess, because this Huntsville seems to be a traditional place, meaning these guys that we've been seeing are so traditional to where they feel like women should operate on a certain level in a certain space. Mississippi ain't too far away from that because Belle Collective, they kind of operate the same way. We kind of see that in those relationships, starting off with Latrice and Cliff. Latrice is beautiful younger girl. Cliff is an older guy. They're doing well for themselves, but you can tell that he has an authoritative approach of like he needs to be involved in everything. It's almost as if you need to ask me to get the okay, and other people on the show are seeing that and they're calling it out. But of course, Latrice is saying that that's not what it is. She's very independent. She gets to do her own thing. He's even sat there and said the same thing. But if for some reason it's not translating as much when we watch it.
Yeah, it's not translating. Yeah. It seems like he has more of the power in that relationship. I think she's making some decisions, but for like at the end of the day, what he says goes. And she kind of acquiesces and yields to him, in a lot of ways.
I mean, but they're still like likable. I don't think they're terrible. I feel like
it's extremes, right? They're not too in extremes. Yeah. I think she's making some I don't watch that show quite as much, but I think she's making some business deals. And the business deals that she's making, and she's doing that independent of him.
Independent of him. Yeah.
Okay, so that's like, because a lot of times people don't want.
But he's her contractor. Like, he's building her new place.
He's building a new. Okay,
yeah, he's the contractor.
So, but that's a level of freedom. I'm making this business deal without you. That's a level of independence, financial freedom I can have on my own, and that may free me from being attached to you. So like, it's not to extreme, but we do see elements in their relationship.
And she's already been a very successful entrepreneur. She's already done really well for herself outside of this marriage. She has, she had her hair store, and she got her hair in all these different stores. She also has an edge control that's in different stores. So she's been doing really well for herself.
But sometimes situations are nuanced. It's different. So you can be submissive at home, but also maybe when you're out in the world, you want to be a little bit more dominant, and you're more of a businesswoman. But at home, maybe you like to be guided and directed, because you have to feel like you have to be this person out in the world. So I don't necessarily, like, how you are in the world does not always have to coincide with how you are in your house.
That's true. That's very true, because it's your private life, and everybody does not need to have a lens on what's going on in your private life. That's just my perspective on that.
Well, you own a reality TV show.
True. Man, so if you're on a TV show, then that's a little different. People want to know what's going on.
We want to know what's going on, but like to a point. Like, sometimes you keep some stuff to yourself. That goes back to the Real Housewives of Potomac. Like, these girls don't show everything.
Right.
You show some things. You try to show what you want the world to see. We all try to manage it in certain ways. Sometimes things get out, and then when things get out, we have to respond. And so we do try to protect our relationship and protect, our spouses, because, the world could be a cruel place. And sometimes I don't think the world may not understand your situation. It might be okay for you. You might be perfectly fine, but then you get other people talking about certain things. And then you realize maybe this is not fine, but you've been okay with it for this whole time. Yeah. Is it what other people are saying and you're concerned about their opinions? Or are you you were truly okay? I think sometimes people get on these reality TV shows and they do change, because a lot of people get in their ear and say, I wouldn't accept that, I wouldn't do that. But a lot of those people are sometimes single, and they're not in a relationship, they're not worth the things. And sometimes you may be, you may not get everything from your partner over here, but they're providing you all this stuff over here.
Yeah.
And so when you're on reality TV, you open yourself up to being criticized and being, your relationship just being out in the open for everyone to dissect it, every little thing. And I'm pretty sure in everybody's relationship there's something that the world wouldn't deal with. But there's a bunch of other things that you have in your relationship that the world would love to have, but they can focus on that one little thing. I would never let him talk to me like that. I would never do this. I would never do that. But meanwhile, over here, we traveling together, have a good time. We having good sex. We doing this. This person's cooking for me. But yeah, maybe in this area, I don't agree, but like, I'm looking at the bigger picture.
That's interesting, because then I think about Gucci and JJ in that situation with Selena. So you didn't watch Bring It?
I didn't watch Bring It.
Bring It, popular show on Life. Was it Lifetime? I think it was Lifetime. Was it Lifetime? No, I think it was Lifetime.
Okay.
Popular show on Lifetime, and Selena was on there with her girls. It was a show based around majorette dancing, with the Dancing Dolls by Miss Diana, I think Williams. Miss Diana, what's Diana's last name? But Miss D. Anyway, Selena was on there, and her girls, Sanjay, Star, and Sky, were a part of the Dancing Dolls. So they had a major role on that reality show, and we would see JJ, right? So watching him on the show over the seasons, I never knew JJ was married. I don't know if anybody ever knew he was married, because we all thought that he was still like in love with Selena. Like, because if you see the way that he was relationship with her on the show, you really thought that, I didn't think that he was married. So then now Belle Collective comes along. She now gets on the show, I think, second season.
Who gets on the show?
So Gucci, his wife. And it turns out that's his wife. He pops up on screen, and I think we're all just taken back, like, wait, what? So we see their relationship play out and them trying to have this blended family. And then this last season, now mind you, she had already been talking about Selena on the show. We've never seen them all in the same space until last season. They were in the same space at Latrice's her reveal of her, I think, edge control or whatever the case may be. They exchanged some words. It ended up being a little scuffle, and everything was just downhill from there, right? Mm-hmm. Like, because you have grown kids that now become involved, and Sanjay was with her mom when all that happened. So on Gucci's end, she's saying she don't understand why all this happened. It's because, and, you know, of course, she's making the most out of this by saying she's still in love with JJ, and she's just upset because, you know, the way that we're now on TV, him kind of saying the same stuff. Mm-hmm. And then the reunion comes, you know, the girls come and speak up for their mom because she wasn't invited to the reunion because So Gucci didn't want her there. However, you talked about her the majority of the season. She was your storyline. The scuffle happened, and now she can't come and defend herself. So the girls had to come and kind of like speak for their mom. It was very interesting to see how JJ was handling that and how he like was low-key going against his daughters to defend his wife.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he felt his wife was in the right. And I also feel like the girls, yeah, they're going to defend their mom. And he wanted to have a more objective picture because they were making it to seem as if So Gucci wasn't like a good parental figure. And then JJ was like, no, she was there when your mom wasn't.
And that's what they didn't like.
They didn't like. But like, because at one point the kids were living with them, right? And according to JJ, and that they tried to call their mom, and their mom was returning a phone call. But, so I just think it's dicey.
It's kind of weird to figure out when did this happen because they were on Bring It for a long time, for a lot of seasons.
Weird. Yeah, it's kind of.
And they were with their mom like this whole time.
Yeah,
so
I'm not sure.
I don't know. Like, we don't know the dynamics of what happened all those years ago. I just think that the way that he's now showing up on this show, because I guess, you know, this is their show. He's showing up as somebody different. If you look at JJ on Bring It, he was JJ that was super cool with Selena. Mm-hmm. You know, we thought that they would maybe have been the best of friends at some point, like after their relationship not working. But now he's throwing out all these accusations against her.
Things change and shift, and maybe Selena did change. I mean, we don't know
But I'm saying he was married this whole time.
Yeah,
you were already married this whole time, and giving, I guess, us the viewers the impression like you still feel some type of way about your ex-wife. But now we see. Yeah. I don't know. It's a little confusing.
It's confusing. It was kind of confusing. It is very confusing. It's like in one essence, you seem like you want to protect your relationship, but in another essence, she's like, okay, this is my time to be on TV. I'm going to open up my relationship. So
It's my time to be on TV, and I'm just going to switch up.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's just kind of weird. And I think that,
I didn't watch Bring It, but maybe we just didn't get the full intimate look. It was very high level. And now you're getting more of the storyline. You guys probably only saw like, he was more of a B character. And sometimes as a B character, you don't get the full insight into what's really happening. All you're seeing is little interactions here and there, but you're not seeing the bigger picture. And now when someone's an A story, you take a deeper dive into their life and really see what it's about.
I think you're absolutely right. This is why we the people petition that Selena be's on the next season of Belle Collective, because she was somebody's storyline, and I think that the ratings would also go up for the simple fact we want to see this play out.
She seems somewhat likable.
She's very likable.
Yeah, I was like,
she's very, very likable.
Maybe I might like her better. I don't know. Gucci. I mean, I like that. Both of them are cool, but like she seemed likable.
I feel like So Gucci is trying so hard. Selena didn't try; she was just herself. I feel like So Gucci is trying to be something that she's trying to be a Belle. Put it that way. Like she's trying to be something that I don't feel like she naturally is, and it comes off as fake. Selena, on the other hand, has just been Selena. You like her, love her, hate her, whatever the case may be. Yeah. I have a friend back in Texas. She's like best friends with Selena. And so we talked about, some different things, but it's very interesting to see this play out the way that it's doing. But if Carlos was smart, he, as much as mess as he likes, I mean, why not bring Selena onto the show? Like, and you just give them a choice. If y'all want to be on the show because Selena gonna be here, then that's a personal issue. But it's important that the story plays out because now everybody has been impacted in some type of way. The girls,
yeah, that'd be great to see.
Selena, you guys, we need to see how this plays out and to see if y'all can work through this, because I don't think that is so damaged where it can't be worked through. You know what I mean? Yeah. Even though Gucci did file charges against Selena for that incident, but if you look at the tape playback, she started it.
Yeah.
You can't start something and expect sometimes for nobody to have no reaction. Like, there's gonna be a reaction.
But we don't condone violence.
But we don't condone violence, of course.
You know, but you are responsible for, you know, your words can have an effect. That's what the
Absolutely.
whole thing with Candace, you know. Candace has words, and sometimes people.
But I've told you this before.
You know.
What have I said? Words are just words. Like,
but sometimes words can hurt deeper.
I mean,
scar deeper. We already know things we heard as a youngster. Think about some things you heard as a youngster. They affected you for a long time. Words can really hurt. They can have a lot of power. So we have to be careful with our words too. But like, I don't think. You know,
I mean, being young and then being grown is two different things. I think
I'm saying words have power.
Words do have power, but you also got to remember, in reality TV, in certain settings, you signed up for a war of words, not to use your hands and your fists. You're supposed to fight with your words because that makes good TV. They created these slang like shade and reading and all the rest of the stuff. We didn't know nothing about this until reality TV came
I
along.
knew about it. I mean,
the
girls are like reading and shade. That came from like.
Well, whatever the case may be,
I don't think it came from reality TV. That came.
Well,
from
I don't know, but I'm just saying. In general, I didn't know anything about any of that stuff, but I'm saying now, I guess so. But reality TV, you're supposed to use your words, is what I'm saying. You're not supposed to use your fist and be fighting. And, I mean, if they go low, somebody gonna go to hell, and either you can keep going back and forth, or you can walk away. So that's just what it is. Even in your everyday life, we just talked about you don't have to respond or react to everything. Imagine if you always wanted to fight because somebody hit below the belt. And some people, I've heard people say within the last few years, the reason why they start to use their hands is because they're not good with their words. They become so upset and they're not good with their words, so they just use their hands, but that's just an excuse. If nobody is putting your life in danger or making you feel threatened by their presence, as far as they're like really in your face as if they're finna hit you, then I don't feel like you should be using your hands. Either use your words or walk away.
I agree.
But in this situation, some situations that don't happen, you know, and it is what it is. But yeah, we would love to see Selena on Belle Collective next season. I think that she deserves a spot on that show. Probably won't happen, but we would be pleasantly surprised if it did. But I don't know. Seems like somebody's blocking that. Which is interesting how these people can get on the show and start blocking people from being on shows.
Yeah. I mean, at some point, it's a business decision.
Yeah.
You know, you say, okay, well, this person, either I want this person or the other person, you know, and maybe the best business decision is to keep Gucci on there because she doesn't want to film with Selena or whatever. So it's a business decision. But the best decision would be for both of them to be on there because I think the ratings will go up and it'd be a very interesting story.
Now she'll really have a storyline.
Yeah.
Like she wouldn't have to try to reach.
But she probably doesn't want to give her that power. You know,
True.
So she's playing, you know, she's on the show and she has somewhat of a storyline, but she doesn't want to give that other person that power.
Because she's already said that too. She's like, Selena's just mad because at one point in time, she was on the show and she's a star of a show or whatever the case may be, but this is my show.
But now it makes it more on equal footing. So it's like, okay, now we both on here.
Yeah, throw them both on there. Let's just see what happens. But yeah, so we just wanted to talk about a few things and we have so much more to ramble on about and rant and rave, but yeah, we're gonna wrap this video up. Hopefully you heard some things that spark your interest to want to comment, like, share, and even subscribe.
Yep.
So thank y'all so much for watching, and until next time, take care of yourself and each other. Peace.